Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is a Thursday and a little bit more clouds out there today. I'm going to tell you all about our weather coming up in just a moment. On our show today, Joan Milliman is here for the Roberts Rules Study Club, and she's going to talk about their upcoming meeting, and she's also going to, we're going to talk about classes of motions. That's kind of the main topic. Now, Hearing Remedy, we're going to bring you a segment with Ken Post. Also, we have from the Saddleback College Emeritus Institute. It's nice to have them back. It's been a while since we have an instructor back. This is an endocrinologist. Victor Enninger will be with us today. And then Down with Falls. This is a coalition that helps seniors as far as making their home safe. And they're going to have a seminar coming up. And with us today, talking about that, is Steve Carpenter. You know Steve. He's over at Adapt to It as well, so it's good to have him on. Now, as far as meetings go today, there are a few meetings. In third, their Garden Villa Association meeting. That will be at Clubhouse 5 at 10. And then also at 10 o'clock, if you're over in Mutual 50, they'll be having their agenda prep. And GRF will be having their meeting, their CAC meeting, Community Activities Committee, and that will be in the boardroom at 1:30. And then it's Sycamore Room at 4 o'clock, United Resident Advisory Committee. Now let's get to the weather. A little more clouds out there this morning. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler. It was really nice yesterday. We should break away from these clouds if you're watching us in the morning to a mostly sunny afternoon. And as we move forward, here's all the rain news. Here's all what's coming up. Now, Friday, the rain is due in probably in this area 10, 11 o'clock at night. The heavier rain will be overnight and may spill over to maybe Saturday morning, meaning 10, 11 o'clock or so. So figure from maybe about a 12-hour period from 10 until 10, 11 to 11, that sort of thing. Expect some sort of rain. Not a big system. Then, as we get to Saturday afternoon, it'll be a little bit more sun out there, but still partly cloudy. Sunday, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy most of the day, and then evening rain, kind of a repeat of Friday to Saturday, only at this time, it'll be Sunday to Monday, sort of the same thing. Late night coming in, Sunday evening, and into Monday morning. Again, the exact times are going to change a bit, but just figure on that. Then, just so you know, next week, the bigger system, the one that they're a little more worried about for flooding in certain areas, will be happening maybe late Tuesday night into Wednesday and then into Thursday as well. So that's going to be the big system as of right now. You know, these things are very, very flexible. But beginning tomorrow night, all the way through maybe next Thursday, expect rain almost every day in some form. All right? Just to let you know about that. Now, here's the temps around the area today. Everything is down by about 3 degrees, I'd say 3 to 4 degrees, except Palm Springs. They went up today by about 4 or 5 degrees, so nice out there. But the coastal areas, I have the beaches at 60. The beaches all the way from, let's say, Newport Beach all the way down to Dana Point will average anywhere from about 62 to about 58 degrees. So therefore, 60 degrees as your average, and those are the average temperatures everywhere else. So not bad, but again, we're in for some rain, and the first two systems shouldn't be real strong. There could be a little few cells in there, but then next week is when the strongest one is supposed to come in. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Choice of second-row captain's chairs or bench seating. Standard EyeSight driver assist technology. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with 2 years complimentary maintenance included.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sale services.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cart Mart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Cart here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cart Mart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
We all know there's no place like home. You want to stay in your own home, but day-to-day tasks are getting more difficult to manage. Acticare is the solution. We are the trusted care partner in your community with 5-star reviews. You've taken care of others all your life. Now is the time to let us help you. In-home care is a safe and effective way to help you remain living independently in the comfort of your own home.
Acticare, responsive in-home care. Your first day is free.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha Na Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
With me today from the Roberts Rules Study Club is Joan Milliman, and coming up on Saturday will be their regular meeting. So welcome.
Well, thank you, Ken.
Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Happy New Year, yeah.
And one of the things that comes up a lot in meetings are motions. In fact, they come up all the time,
right.
Probably more than anything else.
Right.
Because anything that somebody wants to do or move forward is a motion. But you're going to talk about the different classes of motions.
Right. Well, we've talked about main motions, and there's that's in the book, you know, our wonderful book. There are 5 chapters devoted to classes of motions, and main motions are one class. The second class is subsidiary motions, which are actually tools for finalizing the main motion, like to amend it or to refer it to a committee or postpone it in different ways. And a third category are privileged motions. Now this would be 5, 6, 7, chapter 7 in this book. And it's a whole chapter on every one of these categories. But today I just want to mention a couple of groups, the 4th class of motions, which are incidental motions. And these really arise out of consideration of some question, and they're not as simple to categorize.
Okay.
They kind of differ in their uses. They don't have a rank. They can interrupt a discussion or a decision, but they have to be decided before the question can be decided.
Right.
So some of those motions include point of order, where you want to, and the chair will decide whether the point of order is acceptable or not. You're just saying something about the procedure. The parliamentary procedure isn't working out.
Yeah.
So point of order. And sometimes people don't object to what the chair's just said, so they make an appeal to the orders of the chair.
Okay.
And it takes a majority vote and a second to pass that. I'm just going to list these because do we have to memorize all of them? But we do need to know how they're used.
Okay.
And in the study club, what we do is go through these pretty thoroughly so you know how to use them and what to do if you're chair when somebody says, I think we should make a division of the question. What? And that just means that you break up the question into pieces and vote on each piece of the question.
Okay.
So things like that, and these are part of the incidental motions. Then there's a couple of miscellaneous motions that are rather strange. One is to ratify. Suppose that your committee meets without a quorum and they pass some legislation, but it's not legal because there was no quorum.
Okay.
So in the next meeting, you can ratify the motion.
Okay.
In other words, approve it.
All right.
That's one thing that comes up under those miscellaneous things. And another one that's often used is, we often table something.
Stop you there
Yeah.
for a moment.
Yes.
That's always been a bit of a confusion, at least to me, what it constitutes a quorum. So let's say, your boards have 11 members. What's a quorum, what's not a quorum, at what point?
Well, usually it's one more than half.
Okay.
So whatever number you have, unless it's stated otherwise in the bylaws.
Okay.
Sometimes the bylaw, if you have an exceptionally large board, for example, you might have a certain number would make a quorum.
Okay.
And it wouldn't
right.
be half, it would be another number.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I always wondered that.
Right. And the president always looks to see that there are enough people there to do business. Okay. One of the other miscellaneous motions is to take from the table. Mm-hmm. Often people think they're going to stop action by tabling something. They stop the action for some reason. Maybe there's a speaker coming and they need to table the action until after the speaker, but they don't say that, let's table it.
Okay.
And then when it's finished, then you take it from the table. Now, taking from the table must be done within that session or the very next session.
Okay.
So it's a little tricky. It's time sensitive. Mm-hmm. So better to say postpone to a specific time rather than table a discussion.
Okay.
So these are the finer points that Robert's Rules Study Club gets into. Mm-hmm. And it's very helpful if you're a chair to understand what's going on, how to handle it. So basically this Saturday we're going to be dealing with these motions of various kinds, and I didn't go through the whole list of incidental motions because they are kind of extensive. But as I said, every chapter 5 through 10 deals with classes of motions, individual classes. So that's kind of what we're up to this Saturday.
All right, and this Saturday at the Towers at 9 o'clock, by the way, and if you'd like to join them. And if you ever are interested, if you can't make it to this one, you usually the second Saturday of the month.
And it's in the second floor.
Okay.
At the Key Club.
Okay.
I hope that everybody will come because even if you're just a little curious, you'll get something from the meeting. And you do not have to be an expert to join us.
You don't have to wade through that big
You don't,
book.
no, but we help you wade through it with simpler books, such as this one, for example, which is a kind of a shortcut to all the rules. The thing about the big book is it gives you all the exceptions to every possibility that ever occurred, and it grows every year to more and more pages. So we all try to look at other books. So right now we're doing Robert's Rules Simplified.
Who publishes this, by the way?
Well,
does this come from here? Does it come out of England? Or?
No, these are out of here.
They are?
Yeah, it's here. This is published in...
Because Robert's Rules came from Great Britain, right?
Parliamentary rules came from Great Britain, but here, General Robert... in the early times in 1776 and thereabouts, a little bit longer, decided that, well, maybe we need something that's a little easier to... more consistent, and so he put together a 50-page booklet of rules. And people could carry it around. Well, this is a little difficult to carry around now, but we do for reference, and it's grown every year. It's published by DeCoppo Press. Here in the States. So.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Nice to be here.
Good to see you. We'll be back. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
When I was first diagnosed, they gave me about 2 years to live.
After they took it out, they did some additional tests, and it found out that, yes, it was a cancerous tumor.
I had an aorta dissection, and that triggered a stroke on top of it.
I've been in treatment a little over 2 years. They saved my life.
If I hadn't been pregnant, they would not have found that mess. If it hadn't been for Ben, I might not be here.
It was amazing that he has knowledge to do what he has to do to save me.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment due to Alzheimer's disease or mild dementia? Are you looking for new options for the symptoms of cognitive impairment? If you are 55 to 85 years of age and have been experiencing mild to moderate memory loss, you may qualify for a clinical research study. Irvine Clinical Research is seeking volunteers to test the effectiveness of a non-surgical therapy device. For more information and to see if you qualify, call 949-577-7415 or visit renewstudy.com.
If you asked me what I wanted to be when I was a child, I would have told you a princess or an astronaut, maybe even a chef. But things change. I may not have become a princess, but I found someone who treated me like one. I may not have become an astronaut, but I still got to see the world. I may not have become a chef, but you would never leave my house hungry. The Emeritus Institute has kept my love of learning alive. Every day is a new adventure, and the Emeritus classes have made it possible to keep living out my dreams. Sign up today and begin your life's next adventure.
Well, it's nice to have back an instructor from the Emeritus Institute. It's been a little while since we've had someone coming on, so this is really nice to start the semester off right. The spring semester, of course, is I think already started. We have Victor Edinger on, and Victor is an endocrinologist and teaches a course over at it's over at the Catholic Church in Mission Viejo, which we'll pinpoint that for you in just a moment. But I'd like to welcome you here.
Thank you.
Welcome you back, I should say. So what your class is about, it's called Hormonal and Metabolic Changes in the Aging Process.
Correct. And as we all get older, our hormones don't do the things that they did when we were younger.
Right. Yeah.
And our metabolisms change. They tend to slow down. So we have to make various changes in our lives. And that's what we go over. We have to figure out what's the most effective way of maintaining weight, because that's what a lot of people are concerned about. As we get older, we tend to gain weight.
Right.
Some people, on the other hand, tend to lose weight because their metabolism just doesn't work and they don't absorb calories as well. So we have to figure out how to solve that problem. But I
think most people would rather have that problem, but maybe not.
I would be very happy to have that problem for a couple of months. Yes, that would be very nice.
But then again, you're not probably getting the nutrients and things that you need if that's happening.
Right.
So, so what are some of the changes that, or what causes these changes? Just simple aging, like anything else in your life.
Wear and tear.
Our muscles don't, build up as quickly as they used to when we were 20.
Our muscles tend to waste away.
Yeah.
Our bones tend to get softer, so makes us at risk of osteoporotic fractures. Our cholesterol tends to start depositing in our blood vessels, increases our risk of heart attacks and strokes. Our male hormones and female hormones, well, in women they have a sudden loss over a couple of years. In men it's sort of gradual over their lifetime. So their sex lives aren't quite as enthusiastic as they used to be, and maybe they would like to be.
So what are some of the things that you go over in your course?
Well, my course is very broad. I'm an endocrinologist.
Yeah.
I deal with hormones, and I deal with obesity, I deal with thyroid. So we go over that in specifics, but I also leave a lot of time available for discussing health policy, how to figure out or how to choose a physician that's appropriate for your particular needs. I talk about the articles that pop up all the time in the news media that talk about different diets, that talk about The changes in cholesterol. 5 years ago, cholesterol was the enemy. Now, cholesterol isn't such a bad thing.
Right, and, and that confuses people.
It confuses physicians as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So we talk about that and the recommendations that these medical groups, American Heart Association, American College of Cardiology, have changed the rules of who ought to be treated for high cholesterol and what the goals are. So it's changing all the time. And I talk about all that. I try to give people an idea of how to interpret the information that they're getting, because there's so much information, both good and bad, online. And most people get an online contact and they go to some place to find out what they want to know, and often it's wrong.
Right. You know, over the years, we've had some nutritionists on, and one of them in particular who I like very much, who's with the Age Well Senior Services and all. And whenever I talk to nutritionists, they kind of go through kind of the same thing you just said. You know, 1 minute you're not supposed to drink wine, the next minute it's okay. You know, on and on and on, all these different things. And the underlying factor that a lot of times I get from them is, you know, be sensible about things. I think most people know what is good and bad for them. They still may eat it now and then, but you kind of intrinsically know that this is probably a little bit better for you than that, but it doesn't mean a lot of that is really great for you.
Right.
So if so much of this particular item that is nutritious is good for you, eating 10 times that much isn't
10 times as good.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And that's really the key with this new recommendations about diet and fat.
Right.
You know, fat, it turns out, is okay. And there's some recent data, not really hard stuff, but recent data suggesting that saturated fats, which were the enemy 3 years ago, they actually decrease your risk of heart disease. So it's very, very hard to know. And you're absolutely right. Moderation in everything you do is the key. And the current diet of choice is the Mediterranean diet, which is lots of vegetables, lots of fruit, olive oil, nuts, primarily walnuts. Very little red meat, chicken, fish are fine, and a glass or two of wine, depending on whether you're male or female.
Right.
See, that's another thing. They talk about wine as a good thing for your heart, but they don't talk about the fact that women metabolize alcohol much more poorly than men do. So men can have 2 glasses of wine, and women should only have 1 glass of wine. But so I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I go over, because I give them facts, at least current facts. You know, facts change all the time.
You're right.
But I give them the current ideas about what is most appropriate for them.
Now, has the semester started?
No, it starts next week.
Okay, starts next week. I knew it was in January, but I wasn't sure yet. So there's still time for folks. And I want to give them that, like, if you go online to the Emeritus program, it's called Hormonal and Metabolic Changes in the Aging Process. It's listed under GERO, GERO120X. And I'm going to give you, this is the course number, right?
That's the course number.
23720. 23720. And it's over at St. Kilian Catholic Church, which is in Mission Viejo.
Right.
So that's where it is. And it's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 in the morning to about 11:15.
Right.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good course for anyone.
I think it is. As I said in my notes to you, that anybody from 20 to 120 is welcome.
Yeah.
And I would like to see lots of people who are not only in their 65 and above age, but people who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s coming, so they'll understand what to expect in the future.
Yeah. Very
Prevention is much better than
That's
treatment.
True. Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
It's
Hope
a
to
pleasure,
see you again.
Ken. Okay.
Take care.
I'll be
Victor.
back again next semester.
All right.
All right.
We'll get you undone in just a moment, and we'll be right back.
Once I came to alignment, things changed.
Here, they take time with you, and if there's any question, they answers it.
It's a good place to go because those people there care about you.
They are a compassionate group. It's almost like you're coming to a second home.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 40 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make new friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit our office at Clubhouse 4 or anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
Parkinson's disease is a neurological movement disorder affecting an estimated 1 million Americans, including many under age 40. The American Parkinson Disease Association is the largest grassroots network in the United States, working to help ease the burden and find the cure for those coping with Parkinson's. Visit apdaoptimism.org today to find out how you can help millions live with dignity and optimism. Your action today will help APDA put an end to Parkinson's disease.
Adapt to It believes that you should be able to do the activities at home that are important to you. Being safe and independent in bathing and mobility will make you feel happy and self-sufficient. Let the professionals at Adapt to It assist you to choose the perfect items to help you live the beautiful life you deserve. Adapt to It delivers, bills Medicare, and many of our products are made here in the USA. When you can't change it, adapt to it.
I'd like to welcome back today Steve Carpenter. And Steve, you know very well because he often comes on with Adapt to It. But today, he is talking about Down with Falls. And they're going to be having a seminar coming up soon called Stand Strong, Improving Balance and Mobility. Welcome. Always good to see you, sir.
My pleasure, Ken. Thank you.
So first, tell us about this coalition.
The coalition was put together under a grant from a group called the Archstone Foundation back around 2004, 2005. I represented a fiscal agent, Rebuilding Together at the time, and our co-founder was the Orange County Office on Aging.
Right.
And we continue, I'm no longer, of course, with Rebuilding Together, but the Office on Aging is alive and well up in Santa Ana. So they're still an influence and a information depository as well as a communicator for the coalition.
Yeah, they're great folks. Yeah, they come on a lot.
The coalition is a group of community medical health professionals that are interested in advocating and educating for older adults.
So what you wanted to talk about, among other things, we have your logo up. Yeah. And you wanted to point out this logo has some significance in its design.
Yeah, we spent quite a bit of time. It actually has like little points around the outside, almost like a seal of approval and stuff like that. And basically, the pointing north is the book, the arrow, and that's for education purposes. But there are basically three components that we identified back then that are still valid in the identification of falls and things of that sort. At 3 o'clock, you have a person standing on a balance board, and so that represents the balance, mobility, exercise aspect of fall prevention. At 6 o'clock is the area that I'm most familiar with, which is housing, your environment, how either neat or not you keep your place, whether you have such things as grab bars and stuff. And then, of course, at 9 o'clock is the medical influence, which is your need as an older adult to make sure you go to the doctor regularly, have your eyesight checked, and maintain your health, your medicines, and things of that sort. So that's basically the intent of the logo.
Yeah, and you know, as we get older, and it doesn't mean you have to be a senior, but as you get older, a simple fall is a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
And I can, you know, recall a while back, or even with my daughter, you know, she fell. I remember her falling off her bike, and you know, like every kid does, and she was all scraped. And I mean, you know, we thought, oh, did she break something or whatever? Which she didn't. And you know, cuts and bruises, and like within 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even notice it.
It's much.
If I get a little cut on my hand, what used to heal in really about 4 or 5 days, where you barely see it, is you know, more like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we don't heal quite as quickly as
right.
we used to.
And falls are devastating, or can be devastating.
And they take on all different forms. There's the mechanical form of a fall, which is from something in your environment. There's the medical, more of a medically based one, where your fall might even be indicative of or a symptom of another medical condition.
Right.
I know, and I mentioned this previously to you, that my dad was just walking along here in the village several years ago and fell over, and he was assessed, and ultimately he was dehydrated, but he had a UTA, and there was, fortunate for him that he fell, because it gave indication of other medical situations. And falls are very much involved with the human body, and they're very high. They occur much more in older age, and once you have fallen after the age of about 62, your life will probably not be the same. Either you'll get smart and work on your nutrition and balance and activity like that, or you've broken a hip or had some other traumatic injury, and as a result, you can't be as independent as you'd like to be. You can't do all the things you used to do. It doesn't always happen. I don't want to be a doomsayer, but
well, a lot of the falls that are non-medical are preventative in meaning that they're around your house, or they're tripping falls or things like that, that are no less devastating when it happens, but can easily be resolved.
Right. I think that. And I'm confident now, after about 15 plus years of working with it, I think that there are creative solutions, not necessarily expensive, for unique physical versus environmental situations. Just yesterday I was at a house where a lady has a medical issue with regard to her hip. She has to turn corners and this and that. But if you are really very kind and sincere in your efforts, you can identify solutions for almost any situation, rich or poor, old or older.
Yeah.
You just have to think about it and try to help.
Right, and so it can be done. Now, we want to get, before we forget, that everyone is certainly invited to this, the Stand Strong Improving Balance and Mobility. This is going to be happening on Thursday, January 24th, 10 o'clock at Clubhouse 1, and everyone's invited to go, but what a great resource. Now, you also say you are also at this thing, you're going to be raffling off some dinners at the Regency, so they're kind of partnering up with you here.
Right, actually I believe the channel for this was the Regency called Office on Aging. We put it on the schedule. I was contacted, since I'm in the close area, to be the presenter for that. A sales counselor at the Regency set it up for us, and it is part of what's made the coalition function for many years, is to have community support, and the fact that they are Regency's going to do a couple raffles and stuff does my heart good, because it allows me the vehicle to talk and advocate for our older adult community.
Yeah, so, very good.
I'm very excited about it, actually.
Yeah.
And if 5 people come, I'm still excited. If 5,000 come, I'd still be excited. So.
Well, I know that you know, what you folks do, and I mean you, and also, of course, Leslie over at Adaptuit, and then the stuff that you both do outside of there, like what you're doing with this, is continually helping people and finding ways that make people's lives a little bit safer, a little bit easier.
Yeah, we enjoy it. I can't say purely that it's a mission, but I definitely think it's a passion.
All right, very good. So again, Thursday, January 24th, 10 o'clock at Clubhouse 1, the Improving and Balanced Mobility Seminar, and that's with Stand Strong, the Down with Falls Coalition. So make sure you check that out.
Thank you, Ken.
Take care, Steve. We'll be right back.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius, so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range, so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Welcome back. Did you know that hearing loss can actually be related to Alzheimer's and dementia? I had no idea that that can happen, but Ken Post is here to tell us a little bit about what is going on. Well, welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again, yes.
So, but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about some hearing loss, factors. What does that entail?
One of the things they learned, and they've been doing a lot of studies, one of the things they've learned is how much blood flow it takes in the inner ear. The cochlea needs good blood flow to hear well. Okay. So anything that affects that can affect your hearing. And that's from diabetes, high blood pressure, even lack of exercise. That you don't get as good blood flow, you don't get it, your hearing can diminish because you don't have enough blood flow to have that cochlea, the inner ear, to work properly.
Wow. I hear exercise all the time when we talk to various people. And it's true, getting your blood flow is really a good thing, and the exercising, which is interesting because you wouldn't think that your ears would have that much trouble.
Yeah, well, your ears, your eyes, all our important parts, they all take blood flow. So.
Okay, all right, good. Hearing and cognitive decline. So I know we talked a little bit about some of the other things that can happen, but when you say cognitive decline, what are you referring to?
In general, as we age, our brain slows down. We can't do so many things at one time. I remember being able to do multitask like crazy. It's like, no, give me a one task now, I'm pretty good. I can maybe break into that. But it's just a natural way, it's just our brain. But we can do a lot of things to keep the brain more active and keep things going. The more things we keep the brain going with, the healthier our brain stays.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do, is keep our brain healthy over the period of time so we can get to an older age and still function well.
So by having a hearing aid or hearing aids, what are some of the benefits by having a hearing aid that can contribute to development of our brain?
Okay. Well, one of the things that can happen with as we don't hear as well, we tend to lose the high frequencies. There's certain consonants, letters that have high frequencies in them. The T, S, TH, they have high frequencies in them.
Okay.
As we lose that, we have trouble distinguishing those letters.
Okay.
So we know someone's saying something because we hear all the other letters, but we don't hear certain letters that are important to know what the word is.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of people say, you're mumbling.
Oh,
literally, it does sound that way. As you lose that high frequency and you lose certain letters,
yes,
it's just like someone's mumbling.
Oh, wow.
You don't get it. You know that when someone mumbles, you know they're saying something. There's no doubt in your mind.
Right.
So your brain starts to try to figure out other ways. So the brain's going to go maybe use context. You never put a cat on your head, so it must have been a hat.
Oh.
This kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that, and your brain's using your eyes. You can see when someone says a T, your lips do a certain movement. So your brain starts picking up clues from your eyes to figure out what the wording is.
Right.
And context. Well, if you can think about it, your brain's, oh, what was that word? I'm trying to figure out, well, in the meantime, the conversation is still flowing. So now your brain's working overtime trying to catch up with the conversation.
Wow, okay.
All this stuff works kind of against you because your brain's using a ton of energy.
Right.
People get exhausted after a conversation because you're using more than you need to from your eyes and just figuring out what the words are.
Right.
And it also makes it harder to remember. It's harder to take those words and put them into the memory part of your brain when your brain's working overtime trying to figure out the conversation.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that kind of work against you as you don't hear well.
Yeah.
And as you bring that up so you can hear all those things, now I got other things I can do with my brain. I can be remembering better. Our memory loss is tied in to hearing.
Right.
Now people theorized it. Now they've been spending the last 15, 20 years doing studies and proving that that is the case. It is the case that when people have normal hearing, they're looking at those aren't the people that are tending towards dementia and Alzheimer's. It's people that aren't hearing well. They're not exercising the brain well.
Right.
Another thing that we wouldn't think of at all is that our brain has a part of it from the caveman days that is always listening to everything going on. Like, I just heard a funny noise over there.
Okay.
The brain's trying to figure out, it hears these in the background. It goes, I know that noise. I'm not even going to bring it up to consciousness.
Right.
I know this noise. You hear something weird? What's that?
Right.
And most of those sounds are high frequency sounds that we tend to lose.
Right.
And if we're not doing that, we're not exercising that part of the brain that's protecting us. It's keeping an animal from sneaking up and taking a bite out of us.
Oh, gosh.
We don't worry about it anymore, right? But it was a problem, many, many years ago.
Well, right, and those poor people never heard it coming. So, what were they going to do? There was no hearing aids then.
Yeah.
So you kind of went into a little bit about dementia and Alzheimer's, but tell me how, loss of hearing does affect those.
Yeah, well, they've been doing studies, and they've noticed that it's more likely that you're going to go into dementia and Alzheimer's when you don't have hearing, when you don't have good hearing. People, they look at, what's the likelihood if you have really good hearing of doing that? And they're looking at the numbers from their studies going, look, there's a correlation between hearing well and dementia and Alzheimer's. But then the other question was, well, what about, but if you're wearing hearing aids, does that help you? Or is it somehow all tied together, and if your hearing's not good, it's not going to be that way? So they had to do more studies to say, okay, if someone has hearing aids, does that get them back into the good hearing column when it comes to dementia and Alzheimer's? They found out, yes, it does help. There's a slight difference in some studies, and there's no difference in some studies. So they've shown that, yes, the hearing aids get you back into a better chance of avoiding those things.
Okay, well, and also sociability we talked a little bit about, because, if you can hear better, then you can have a better conversation, you can be more involved, you can hear what's going on around you. Okay, so now speaking about, we've been leading up to, the whole hearing thing. So show us the tiny German-designed hearing aid that you have with you, which you can't see now.
With me,
you can't see it now.
And you probably never guessed that I was wearing a hearing aid.
And look how tiny that is.
Look how tiny this is.
So tiny.
These are not custom ones. Usually you have to have custom. This has a piece that's the same for everybody, and just the end of it is set up by the whoever's setting your hearing aids up. Is going to find the right piece that will be comfortable in your ear and keep it in the ear.
Oh.
So you don't have to wait. These can be dispensed first time. You sit down and we can get these on you, and you walk out with it. With better hearing.
So now because it's not custom, does that make it a little more affordable? Or are they still because of the technology?
You're paying for the technology inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And there are different levels of these.
Sure.
So they're more affordable. This is the second generation of these. So the first generation comes down in price some. So we do have more of a spectrum. When they first came out, yes, it was only high end.
Right.
Now we're going from middle to high end with these.
Well, right, and we were talking before the segment a little bit about how hearing aids can become more affordable, and as technology improves, you know, like we were talking about phones, when they come out with the iPhone 10, you know, the iPhone 6 and 7 and 8 become less expensive.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the hearing aids, right?
Exactly the same thing. As the high end, they find out some other great bell and whistle everybody wants.
Right.
Well, the next one comes down in price. So what's great is the last 3-4 years, hearing aids have done an incredible amount of improvement.
Right.
I mean, amazing. So now you find out if you buy a hearing aid that was, say, made 3 years ago, well, you save a lot more money. You may save $2,000-3,000 on that, on a pair, but you're getting that technology, that huge improvement that's been going on is now trickling down into the lower prices.
Good. Well, that's good for people who are bargain shoppers and want to hear better. Well, thank you so much. It was very nice of you to share that information. So now put that back in so you can hear.
Get that back in.
All right. And if you want more information, you can always call the Hearing Remedy at 949-340-8438.
Have you been struggling to hear in larger groups? Well, that can be very frustrating. We do have solutions for that at Hearing Remedy. In particular, these tiny hearing aids that can help people hear better in many, many noisy situations. Please give us a call. We have these on sale for a limited time, only $895 for a hearing aid. Call, make an appointment for your free hearing exam, and get on the road to better hearing.
My name is Francisco Perez. I work for the Department of Transportation, and we're here to present or show the Planarize system, which is one of the systems coming on and servicing Saturdays and Sundays all day, and Monday to Friday from 8 o'clock to 10:30 at night. If you want to use the service of Planarize, you please call 597-4659 to make a reservation to the 2 days before or the day of by noon time. That will be the latest time that you can request your pickup for the following day. One of the topics that we like to discuss about is safety. So mainly we like to make sure for the safety of the residents to be seated until the bus stops from moving, and do not get off your seat until the driver tells you so, for your own personal safety and to avoid any accidents or falls on the bus or outside the bus. So one of the key points is the ramp. The main thing here is this ledge. People like to get off the bus and cut corners, and they can trip and fall. For their own safety, please, when you walk out of the bus, straight out and then go to your right or your left, whichever works, okay? That's one of the key points. The other key point is do not stand when the bus is in motion. Any pertinent request that you might have throughout the day, you want to get off the bus or you want to acknowledge the driver, please make sure you tell the driver when you go into the bus before he stops moving the vehicle. So that way he knows in advance where you need to get off or where would you like to be dropped off in whatever cul-de-sac request that you might have. The other topic is use the handrails. Assist yourself using the handrails of the bus to help you out in and out of the bus for your own personal safety. The other part of the system is if you have a medical aid, wheelchair, walker, when you call in to make a reservation in the main line, 597-4659, make sure you tell the dispatch person taking the reservation that you are on a wheelchair or you use a medical device, a walker, so they know in advance what to look for and be prepared when they get on you onto the bus. The driver is already trained to perform the safe load and unload the wheelchair on the bus. So he will secure the wheelchair onto the bus, and he will make sure that you'll be riding safe on the bus. So that's one of the #1 things that we train our drivers, so the passenger is secure and safe while on the bus. I'm Francisco Perez. I'm here to assist you in anything you might need. Please call us at 597-4659, and I will be happy to assist you.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide, published by the Council on Aging, Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
And our movie coming up on Friday is it's not really a documentary, but it is a historical drama, and actually called historical thriller, because it's based on something that really did happen several years ago. It's called Operation Finale, and it's all about the secret agents of Israel that seek out and eventually arrest the notorious SS officer Adolf Eichmann, the man who masterminded the final solution. And he's found in Argentina. Again, I think a lot of you probably remember when this happened, and goes through the trial, the 8-month-long trial. So this is a pretty powerful movie. It stars Ben Kingsley, and he stars as Adolf Eichmann in this. It came out last year, and it's rated PG-13. Operation Finale, 2 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock this coming Friday. Now on Monday, a very different movie. It is The Little Mermaid, and this is not the Disney animated feature, nor the live-action one that they are currently working on, although this is a live-action movie. This came out last year. And of course, it's a kind of an adventure fantasy movie, and a different story with this one. It's about a young reporter and his niece discover a beautiful and enchanting creature they believe to be the real Little Mermaid. And really what this movie is about is like a group of folks kind of want to take her and put her on display, and kind of in a circus type setting, and they want to protect her and find a better life for her. So that's kind of like the catalyst of this movie. Adventure, drama, fantasy. It's not a long one. It's about 90 minutes long, and this will be on Monday at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. So those are our movies coming up. Now, what's a really fun event that the Chinese Club is putting on, they do this every year, a wonderful Lunar New Year celebration on Sunday, the 27th. There's two things going on here. They have a multicultural fair that will be at 11 o'clock, and also later on that evening, they'll be having their main performance at the Performing Arts Center at 6:30, and that one, every year, it seems to sell out. They are going to have wonderful music there, dancers, acrobats, all kinds of different things at that evening performance. But if you'd like to enjoy the multicultural fair, that's no ticket is needed for that one. That will be in 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and that will be throughout the Performing Arts Center. And then that evening is a ticketed event, and that one you can get your tickets now at the Performing Arts Center, $10 to $15 for the tickets. And again, that sells out every year. It's a lot of fun. I think you will really enjoy it. Here's something that I think is a lot of fun: pour and paint. You ever wanted to take a painting class, relax, meet new people? What better way to do it than with a glass of wine in your hand? I think that's just perfect. That'll kind of loosen you up. Maybe you'll get into more abstract painting. This is going to be a fun class. It's Thursday, February 7th at 6 to 8 p.m. at the Clubhouse 1 in the Art Gallery area. Come for a night of paint, wine, and fun, relax and meet new people, and create a masterpiece. It's just going to be a lot of fun, and a great artist will be there to administer the class and the wine at Penny Rubin. $28 per person. It includes all the art supplies and 2 glasses of wine. Aprons will be provided. What a fun evening. I think that'll be, what a great combination. And if you spill a little red wine on the canvas, who cares? It'll just add to your beautiful artwork, right? Hey, there you go. Here's the weather coming up. A little cloudy out there this morning, but the clouds are breaking up. We should have a mostly sunny afternoon. Bit cooler today by about, 3-4 degrees. 65 today and tomorrow. The clouds are going to start to come in tomorrow afternoon, and the rain, late evening rain on Friday into Saturday morning. So we're looking at maybe about 10, 11 o'clock here. We'll start to see a few sprinkles. The bulk of the rain in the middle of the night, and then possible rainy, a little bit of scattered showers all the way through maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Saturday. Then it'll start to clear up. Then on Sunday, kind of a repeat. Sunday evening rain, that should come in a little bit sooner. Right now, it looks more like around 7, 8 o'clock into Monday morning. Then Monday evening it'll clear up. And then Tuesday night, next week, into Wednesday and Thursday, that's going to be the strong storm. So beginning Friday night all the way through for about 6 days or so, on and off rain almost every day in some form. Around the county today, things are a little bit cooler, but still going to be very nice out. Palm Springs, though, is up a few degrees. They're beginning to warm up, which for them, not uncommon for them to get close to 80 degrees during January and February. So they're getting more into their normal territory. Big Bear 48, good skiing conditions up there, of course. They're going to be expecting a lot of snow coming up over the next week for sure. All the ski resorts will be, which is good news for them. All right, we will see you tomorrow. You take care. Bye-bye.